morning. This is my week 10 check-in of The Artist's Way. I'm coming to you very fresh-faced, very puffy, but we're keeping it real today because I'm a couple days late doing this. I had a crazy weekend of emotions, so I had to wait until I was centered to do this, and I feel really good this morning, so I'm going to keep this super brief because I need to start work soon. But this is week 10 of The Artist's Way, which was recovering a sense of self-protection. I feel like I've still got my morning voice. So this week we explored the perils that can ambush us on our creative path. Because creativity is a spiritual issue, many of the perils are spiritual perils. In the essays, tasks and exercises of this week, we search out the toxic patterns that we cling to block our creative flow. So we spoke about a few things in week 10. We spoke about the blocks of our trail. We spoke about overworking. We spoke about drought. We spoke about fame. And we spoke about competition. There was a lot. I think this was the most heavy chapter, as in so much information. Like, I was just going through and I was like, oh, this is speaking to me, this is speaking to me. So I just wanted to speak about a few things that I highlighted. So the first section was titled Dangers of the Trail. Julia says that creativity is God energy flowing through us. It's shaped by us. It's like light flowing through a crystal prism. I love the way that Julia always uses imagery to explain. It makes it really easy to understand what she's saying. She says, when we're clear about who we are and what we're doing, the energy flows freely and we don't experience strain. But when we resist what that energy might show of us or where it might take us, we often experience a shaky, out of control feeling. We want to shut down the flow and regain our sense of control. So we slam on the psychic brakes. And this kind of goes back to self-sabotage, which I think we spoke about in one of the first chapters. I think we get very comfortable with where we're at now, and even though we want change, when it is presented to us, sometimes we don't want to accept it because it's scary. Change is scary, but also we have to accept these things and invite them in, otherwise life is going to stay the same. She says that if creativity is like a burst of the universe breath through the straw that is each of us, we pinch that straw whenever we pick up one of our blocks. We shut down our flow and we do it on purpose. So our blocks, there's so many blocks that we have, and she actually speaks about kind of some vices, and we turn to a drug of choice to block our creativity. So it doesn't actually have to be a drug, but it could be alcohol, drugs, self-doubt, anything. And she says that we do that whenever we experience the anxiety of our inner emptiness. That's deep as hell. So yeah, I really like that section. She's basically was saying that blocking is an issue of faith in ourselves. Then she spoke about overworking, workaholism. We did this workaholism quiz where she asked us a few questions and we had to rate whether we do these things a lot or not. And some part of this section, she says that work abuse creates in our artists a Cinderella complex. We are always dreaming of the ball and always experiencing the ball and chain, kind of pulling us back down. To be honest, I didn't resonate with workaholism that much. I don't personally feel super tied to my work. I feel like I just do what I need to do, and then in my free time, I think maybe workaholism in the fact that I feel guilty if I'm not doing something creative. So I think that could probably tie into it. And last week I had a night off and my friend asked if I wanted to go to dinner with her, and it sounds crazy, but sometimes when I have a night off, all I want to do is just to be by myself, and I might not create anything, but I think just knowing that I have that time eases anxiety, because I feel like I'm doing something productive. And then if I'm going out and seeing a friend, I feel like I'm not making the best use of my time. But I went out for dinner with my friend, and when I tell you, it was such a reminder to me that it's so important to see your friends. I know that sounds really simple, I know that already. But I have really, in the last what day is it? The 8th of April. Since I've been doing this book, since this year, really, I've been prioritizing my time so much that I feel like I haven't been seeing friends and just having like, I don't know, having human connection as much as I should with my loved ones. I mean, I have human connection at work, but it's not really the same. And I just came away from it like so recharged and refueled. And I think that I definitely am somebody that I can get overwhelmed in like big social settings and groups, but like a one-on-one or like a small group that I'm seeing like some of my best friends, it was a big reminder to me that I do need to prioritize those things too, and that work or music or whatever it is that I think I need to be doing, it can just take a backseat sometimes. So yeah, it kind of tied into that, but it's not so much working, it's more just, I don't know, yeah, like music time. So I like that. Then we spoke about droughts, and every creative will go through periods of time where they don't feel they can create, or they have, well, in my case, writer's block. So Julia says, in any creative life, there are dry seasons. These droughts appear from nowhere and stretch to the horizon like a Death Valley vista. Life loses its sweetness. Our work feels mechanical, empty, forced. If you've been there, you've been there. We feel we have nothing to say, and we are tempted to say nothing. But these are the times that the morning pages are most useful. They're the most difficult, but they're the most valuable. She says that during a drought, the mere act of showing... I literally need to start work like right now, just logged on. During a drought, the mere act of showing up on the page, like the act of walking through a trackless desert, requires a one footfall after another to no apparent point. Droughts tell us that they will last forever, but they don't. For all creative beings, the morning pages are the lifeline, the trail we explore and the trail home to ourselves. That is something I found with the morning pages. It seems like we all know this when you journal. It brings you more in tune with yourself, but it really, really does. And sometimes we need that. And especially in times where we feel like we've lost faith or self-doubt will creep up, it's so important to bring it back to ourselves, and the morning pages just get everything out. And I don't think I spoke about this in one of my check-ins. I think it might have been week 8. One of the tasks was to read back some of the morning pages, and initially Julia said that we weren't allowed to, and I never did. But reading back on them, it was so interesting, seeing my thought process and how I deal with my emotions, and it's just such a healthy way to do it. She says droughts are terrible. Droughts hurt. Droughts are long, airless seasons of doubt that make us grow, give us compassion, and blossom as unexpectedly as a desert with sudden flowers. But droughts do end. And that's the main takeaway. They do end, and it's never going to last forever. She spoke about fame. She says that fame is not the same as success. Fame is a spiritual drug. It's often a byproduct of our artistic work. But like nuclear waste, it can be a very dangerous byproduct. It interferes with our perception. This is so important, this bit. We all like credit where credit is due. As artists, we don't always get it. Yet, focusing on fame, on whether we're getting enough, creates a continual feeling of lack. This is exactly how I feel posting on TikTok, because I can make something that I think is really great. I'll post it on TikTok and it will be in 200 view jail, as people call it. And the way I could tell myself that video means that I'm like talentless. It's so crazy how we put our validation on numbers and success. Obviously when you get a viral video, you feel great. You feel like you like the praise because you're getting attention and people are seeing your work, and it's so hard to be vulnerable enough to post your work and it not be seen. It sucks, and I've had it my whole life. I had like one viral video and it wasn't really even my music. So it's hard out here, but she says that fame is really a shortcut for self-approval. And I think that's the main point, that I need to know and trust in myself and believe in myself enough that I don't have to place my validation on external views. I need to just be so sure of myself that I can big myself up rather than needing other people to tell me how great I am. So I really like that section. And then the last section was on competition. Competition is another spiritual drug, she says. When we focus on competition, we poison our own well, impede our own progress. We make excuses for our avoidance, and the excuses are focused on others. We might say that, oh, well, somebody else has already done that. It's been done before, and they had connections. They had a rich father. They belonged to a sought-after minority. They slept their way to the top. This is what she says. And it's true. Sometimes we can get ourselves in that headspace, which is dangerous and very negative. So she says that as artists, we can't afford to think about who is getting ahead of us and how they don't deserve it. The desire to be better than can choke off the simple desire to be. And it just all goes back to focus on yourself. Don't compare yourself to others. We are the origin of our own art, its homeland. And viewed this way, originality is the process of remaining true to ourselves. We can't replicate what somebody else has done because we're not that person. Our art is completely different. Whether you think you sound the same or you're doing the same genre, you are your own artist. It's complete own entity. She says that an act of art needs time to mature. So judged early, it might be judged incorrectly. And it reminds me that it's a blessing that I don't really have a fan base right now. My laptop just bugged out. But I think I was saying, because I don't have a big following yet, I get to explore freely and I don't have so many eyes on me, which is a blessing because I can just figure things out and I don't really have a huge expectation upon myself. So yeah, that was pretty much week 10. I liked this week. I liked the tasks. The tasks were super cool. We were asked to write down happiness touchstones, so things that just make us happy, and it was just like small things. I just said, like, right now it's spring and all the blossoms are falling off the trees, and when I do my daily walk into my local park, I just love that. And yeah, it's just like small things. Freshly baked pastries, I love that. It was a nice thing that reminded to love the little things in life, you know. We also spoke about the awful truth. She asked us what habits we have that get in the way of our creativity. I said scrolling on my phone, it wastes time, it's brain rot, and it feeds into comparison. I said that I plan to combat my phone addiction and have a detox, just like I did before, which I did do this week a little bit. She spoke about what friends believe in you and your talent. I wrote them down, honestly, what my friends do, because I have the best friends ever. We also had to set a bottom line, so I said, I'll no longer doubt myself, I'll no longer be a people pleaser, I'll no longer give time to people who do not value me, and I will no longer fear change. On that note, I really need to go. I'm kind of late, but week 10 was great. I loved week 10. I had a little blip at the weekend, just externally, just had a mad anxiety of what I'm doing with my life right now, and I was at work and it just all got a little bit much and I kind of had a breakdown, and it was really strange to navigate because I haven't cried like that in a minute, and I haven't felt anxiety in a minute, and it was quite scary. But I took some time, recentered myself, and I feel good now, and I'm just reminding myself, like I do every day, that it's all happening for a reason and I'm on the right path. So if anybody watching this is feeling those feelings, I'm with you. We go through it. Life is hard sometimes and our brains can get into a really scary place. But I can say I'm feeling better now. So yeah, I'll see you next week for week 11.